welcome to J&R Ministry for kids. Now today's story is a man and a woman that needs to trust God. So I wanted to let you know if there is any way that you ever wanted to change your name, what would it be? Well, in this story, Abram and Sarai, brand new names were given to them by God. God told them to change their names to Abraham and Sarah. Once Abraham sat by his tent, wishing again that he and Sarah had a son of their own, he remembered that God had promised, "I am going to give you children." Abraham. But that was such a long time ago. Would God keep his promise? Abraham hoped so. He wanted a son very much. Abraham's wife, Sarah, wanted a son too. But she didn't think God would keep his promise. "I'm too old to have a baby," she said to herself. "I'm almost 90 years old." It was a very hot day. The sun was beaten down, and no breeze was blowing. Suddenly, Abraham looked up and saw 3 travelers coming toward his tent. Abraham bowed to the travelers and said, "Hello, please stay a while and rest under these trees near my tent. It's cool and shady here, and if you will rest a while, I'll bring you water to wash your tired, dusty feet and give you something to eat and drink." Then the visitors accepted Abraham's kind offer and settled down in the shade of the trees. "Thank you," they said. Abraham hurried into the tent. "Sarah," he cried, "we have visitors. Quickly bake some bread for them while I see to the fixing of meat for the dinner." Later, Abraham brought out milk and cheese and meat for the visitors to eat. While they ate, Abraham stood nearby. One visitor said to Abraham, "God is going to keep his promise to you. When I come to visit you next year, Sarah will have a baby boy." Sarah was inside the tent, listening to the men talk. She laughed to herself. "That's impossible," she thought. "Abraham and I are much too old to have children." The men said, "Why did Sarah laugh? Is anything too hard for God to do? When I come back next year, Sarah will have a son. You can always trust what God says." Sarah was very surprised that the visitors knew what she was thinking. She hadn't said anything out loud, and yet they knew what she said to herself. These were not just ordinary visitors. One of the visitors was the Lord, and the other 2 were angels. What do you think Abraham thought when he heard the good news? He was very happy. He knew his time of waiting would soon be over. He knew he could trust what God said. Why did the visitors come? Because God wanted Abraham to know about the baby. God wanted Abraham and Sarah to learn that they could trust what he said about a baby, and they could trust what he said about other things. A year later, Sarah held a little boy in her arms. The baby's name was Isaac. Sarah was so happy. She laughed. She had the little boy baby she had always wanted. When Isaac was born, Abraham was 100 years old and Sarah was 90. Abraham was happy too. God did what he said he would do. Abraham said, "We can always trust what God says. He has given us a fine baby boy."
Ni-ha, it is I, Dave the Donkey, and today's verse is, "Every good and perfect gift is from above." James 1:17. And that's today's verse, kids. See you all next time with another verse of the day. Ni hao.